right, so manifesting love right. You send over this podcast episode with 10 people who say they actually did it using Neville Goddard techniques. I listened to their stories, and I gotta say, I'm pretty intrigued.
Yeah, it really is like a fascinating collection of experiences. And you know what I find particularly interesting? It kind of demonstrates like a core principle in Neville Goddard's teachings.
Oh,
this whole idea that our reality is like a direct reflection of our self-concept.
okay, so before we jump into the stories, maybe we could unpack that a bit.
Sure.
For anyone who maybe isn't familiar with Neville Goddard, what does he actually mean by self-concept? And how does that even tie into manifesting?
Essentially, he's talking about like those really deep-seated beliefs about, who we are, what we deserve, what's even possible for us.
Right.
And Neville Goddard suggests that this self-concept, it's like a blueprint.
A blueprint.
For our reality. So if like deep down you don't believe you're worthy of love, you're probably going to attract experiences that confirm that belief. Okay. But on the other hand, if you cultivate like a strong sense of self-worth and you really believe you are deserving of love, you're way more likely to attract those experiences.
That makes sense, but it also makes me wonder, if it all comes down to our beliefs, are we saying that anyone can just magically manifest a partner just by, thinking positive thoughts?
It's not quite that simple. It's not about, fleeting thoughts.
Okay.
It's about those really deep, rooted beliefs and the emotions that are attached to them.
Oh, okay.
It's about aligning your entire being, so your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions with the reality that you actually desire. And a lot of times that requires a conscious effort to shift those really ingrained patterns and beliefs that might be holding you back.
So it's like rewiring your internal circuitry.
Exactly. And all these stories we have, they showcase, a variety of different techniques that people have used to do just that, like scripting, visualization, affirmations. There's even a technique called state akin to sleep, or SATs.
Oh, wow. Okay, so let's dive into some of those techniques. We've got Sophia's story, right, where she used scripting to manifest a partner who appreciated her.
Oh, yeah. Sophia's story is such a great example of how, detailed visualization can really, bring those desires to life. Remember, she felt invisible in her past relationships.
Right.
Well, she started writing these, really detailed letters to her future partner.
Okay.
It was almost like she was, journaling their life together already. Romantic getaways, inside jokes, shared values. She got super specific.
And she actually met someone who embodies those qualities.
Right.
It's almost like she wrote him into existence. So does scripting actually work like that? I mean, how does that tie back to this, self-concept idea?
So it's about, impressing those desires on the subconscious mind.
Okay.
Think of your subconscious like this really powerful, operating system running in the background. It doesn't really distinguish between what's real and what's imagined, especially when there's vivid emotions involved. So by scripting, these detailed scenarios and really feeling the emotions as if they were already happening, Sophia basically shifted her self-concept from invisible and unappreciated to worthy of love and attention. And then that shift started to manifest in her external reality.
So she wasn't just writing a story. She was rewriting her own story.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
And it's interesting how this aligns with another story we have.
Okay.
Emma's story. She used a totally different technique, this thing called SATs.
Right.
But ultimately, it seems to target that same underlying principle, that idea of influencing the subconscious mind.
Okay, I have to admit, the whole SATs thing sounds a bit mysterious to me.
Yeah.
What did Emma actually do?
So imagine you're, drifting off to sleep, but instead of counting sheep, you're deeply immersed in the feeling of your desire. Emma was really tired of always being the caretaker in her relationships.
Right.
So as she was falling asleep, she would imagine her future partner, showering her with love and appreciation.
Oh, wow.
Telling her how much she deserved to be cared for.
So she was reprogramming her mind while she slept? I mean, how does that even work?
Well, Neville Goddard talks about how the state of sleep is this gateway to the subconscious mind. So by drifting off with those feelings of being loved and cherished, Emma basically bypassed the conscious mind, which tends to be, more analytical and resistant to change. She was essentially planting those seeds directly into the fertile ground of her subconscious.
Wow.
Where they could take root and start to influence her self-concept.
Okay.
And then ultimately her external reality.
It makes you wonder what else is possible if we can tap into that power, right? And it makes me think of Liam's story. He wasn't necessarily focused on specific techniques like scripting or SATs. His approach was more about a complete self-concept overhaul.
Absolutely. Liam's story really highlights that sometimes the biggest obstacle to manifesting love isn't even about the techniques themselves. It's about the beliefs that we hold about ourselves.
Right.
Remember how he struggled with those feelings of inadequacy?
Yeah, he felt like he wasn't good enough to be loved.
Exactly. He felt like he wasn't good enough to be loved. And he literally changed his whole internal dialogue.
Yeah, he started using those affirmations.
Yeah.
I am deserving of unconditional love, and I am confident, lovable, and enough. It was like he was creating a whole new identity for himself.
That's exactly what he was doing. Consistently, affirming these really positive beliefs about himself, he gradually shifted his self-concept from one of lack and unworthiness to one of self-love and confidence.
Wow.
And it's no coincidence that, this shift in his internal state was followed by a shift in his external reality.
He met Mia, and they've been inseparable ever since.
Exactly.
So it really does work. It's a testament to the power of believing in yourself.
Yeah.
And recognizing your own inherent worthiness. So we've got scripting, SATs, affirmation. These are all pretty different approaches.
They are.
Do you see any common threads here?
What's striking is that despite, all the different techniques and everything,
right,
they all seem to be targeting that same core principle.
Okay.
That power of self-concept in shaping our reality, whether it's through detailed visualization, emotional embodiment, or positive affirmations.
Right.
The underlying goal seems to be to, shift that internal blueprint and align it with the love and relationships that we desire.
So it's not about magic spells or wishful thinking.
No.
It's about understanding the power of our own minds.
Yeah.
Right? And taking those deliberate steps to shape our internal reality, knowing that it will eventually manifest in our external experience.
Exactly.
It's fascinating how it all seems to connect back to that central idea of self-concept, right?
It is.
But I feel like we've only just scratched the surface here.
Yeah, there are so many more stories.
Really?
Each one offers such a unique perspective on this whole journey of, manifesting love. Should we dive into the next set?
Absolutely. I'm eager to see what other insights we can uncover.
Okay, so let's explore some more of these stories.
Okay.
I'm really intrigued by Olivia's approach. Instead of using words, she tapped into the power of visual imagery.
Oh, okay.
With a vision board.
Vision boards, huh? I've always been a little skeptical of those.
Really?
They seem a little too arts and crafts for me. But Olivia really seemed to get results.
She good?
She manifested her dream wedding, right? Down to the venue and the flowers.
It's amazing, right? Yeah. And it actually aligns perfectly with, Neville Goddard's emphasis on the power of imagination.
Oh, really?
Olivia didn't just create some pretty collage.
Right.
She poured her, heart and soul into it. She collected all these images of happy couples, romantic settings, the perfect dress. She even included affirmations about her ideal relationship.
Oh, wow.
She basically created a visual representation of her desired reality.
So instead of writing out her desires, she visualized them. And somehow that shifted things for her.
Think of it this way. By immersing herself in those images every single day, she was essentially feeding her subconscious mind this steady stream of visual affirmations.
Oh.
She was training her mind to believe that this beautiful wedding and, loving relationship weren't just dreams,
right,
but an actual reality within her reach. And by doing so, she gradually shifted her self-concept from, single and searching to engaged and blissfully in love.
It makes you wonder if those images acted as some kind of energetic blueprint, for her reality, attracting the right circumstances and people into her life. Is that what Neville Goddard meant by imagination shaping our reality?
Precisely. And it's interesting to compare Olivia's approach with Noah's story.
Okay.
He also manifested love,
Yeah.
But his focus was on like letting go of control and embracing detachment.
Oh, interesting.
He was so tired of that desperate feeling
Yeah.
of needing a partner to feel complete.
Right, right.
He actually used affirmations like, love flees to me effortlessly, and really focused on feeling whole and content on his own.
So almost like the opposite of Olivia's like intense focus on her vision board.
Yeah, but if you look deeper, both approaches ultimately lead back to that same like core principle.
Okay.
Shifting self-concept.
Right.
Olivia's vision board, it helped her embody the feeling of already being in that loving relationship. And Noah, by focusing on self-love and releasing that neediness.
Yeah.
Well, he shifted his self-concept from one of lack to one of abundance.
So whether it's intense focus or surrender, it's about aligning yourself with that belief that you're already worthy of love.
Exactly. And that shift in self-perception, then it just seems to ripple outwards.
Oh, wow.
Attracting experiences that mirror that new belief. It reminds me of Ava's story.
Okay.
And how she overcame those like deep-seated trust issues.
Oh, Ava.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was attracting like unfaithful partners, right?
Uh-huh.
And felt like she was destined to be betrayed.
I know. Pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah.
And yet she managed to break free from that whole pattern.
Wow.
Well, instead of like focusing on her past experiences, she consciously chose to assume a different reality.
Right.
She started affirming, I am always chosen and loved. She essentially rewrote the narrative.
And she reconnected with an old friend, Jake, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he turned out to be everything she had visualized. Loyal, devoted, completely smitten with her. It's like she manifested the trust that she was craving.
It is.
But how does that tie back into this idea of self-concept?
Mm-hmm.
Was she just like faking it till she made it?
It's way more profound than that.
Okay.
Remember, our subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's imagined.
Right.
So by consistently affirming that she was worthy of being chosen and loved, Ava basically reprogrammed her subconscious mind.
Okay.
She shifted her self-concept from destined for betrayal to worthy of loyalty and devotion.
And her external reality started to reflect that new belief.
Exactly. Like those old patterns of attracting unfaithful partners, they were based on a subconscious belief that she wasn't worthy of loyalty.
Right.
By consciously shifting that belief, she basically changed the energetic frequency she was putting out, and then that attracted, a totally different type of partner into her life.
Okay, this is making me rethink that whole like attracts like concept. It's not just about our like surface level desires, right?
Right.
It's about those deeper beliefs and emotions we hold about ourselves.
Exactly. And these stories offer such compelling evidence for that. Think about Ethan, for example.
Okay.
He always felt like the second choice in relationships.
Oh.
So he decided to combine like scripting with gratitude.
Oh, interesting. How did that work?
So he would write these like detailed descriptions of his ideal partner and their connection. And then he'd end each entry by thanking the universe for bringing this person into his life.
Wow.
Almost as if it had already happened.
So he wasn't just dwelling on what was missing. He was like actively cultivating a feeling of gratitude for the love he desired.
Exactly.
Even before it manifested.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked. He met Lily through a mutual friend.
He did.
And she expresses her appreciation for him in those exact ways that he had written about.
I know, right?
It's almost as if, like, he programmed her with his gratitude.
Well, I wouldn't say programmed,
Yeah.
but he definitely aligned his energy with that frequency of appreciation and love. And by doing so, he attracted a partner who, like, mirrored those same qualities. He shifted his self-concept from, like, always the second choice to worthy of being cherished and prioritized.
Okay, let's talk about Charlotte.
Okay.
She was battling anxiety in relationships.
Oh, yeah.
Constantly needing reassurance.
Uh-huh.
I can relate to that. Sometimes those insecurities can really, like, sabotage things.
Absolutely. And for Charlotte, it was creating this cycle of conflict
Right.
in her relationships. So she decided to use like visualization to create a sense of inner security.
Okay.
She would imagine her ideal partner comforting her,
Oh, wow.
offering that reassurance that she craved.
So instead of seeking that, like, validation externally, she cultivated it internally.
Yeah.
Is that what shifted things for her?
It seems so. Remember, the subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's imagined.
Right.
So by consistently visualizing those feelings of comfort and reassurance,
Yeah.
she was essentially reprogramming her nervous system.
It's like she was giving herself the love and security that she needed instead of relying on someone else to provide it.
Exactly. And by doing so, she not only calmed her anxiety, But she also attracted a partner who just naturally offers that sense of emotional safety.
Oh, wow.
Daniel, her current partner, he just seems to instinctively know how to support her.
It's like she manifested the emotional stability she was looking for.
She did.
It's remarkable how these, seemingly simple techniques can create such profound shifts, both internally and externally.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder what else is possible.
Absolutely. And we still have a few more stories to explore.
Oh, really?
Each one offers a, really unique perspective on this whole journey of manifesting love.
Okay.
Shall we continue?
Definitely. I'm eager to hear what other insights we can uncover. Okay, so James Wright, his story kind of highlights that, self-love is a crucial ingredient in attracting, a healthy relationship.
Absolutely. James's journey is like a reminder that, we tend to attract partners who mirror our own level of self-worth. Remember, he had low self-esteem.
Right, and kept finding himself in relationships where he felt undervalued.
Exactly. And eventually he realized that, he needed to change his own internal state before he could attract the kind of love he actually desires.
So instead of focusing on finding the right person, he kind of turned the spotlight inward.
Exactly. He shifted his focus from, seeking external validation to cultivating self-love. He started using affirmations like, I am enough, and I deserve healthy, happy love.
Yeah.
Consistently reminding himself of his inherent worth.
It sounds like he was essentially rewriting the script he'd been living by, shifting from that belief system of not good enough to worthy of love and respect. And that shift in self-perception led him to Claire. She seems to treat him exactly the way he deserves.
It really is a beautiful example of how, raising your own vibration can attract a partner who resonates at that same frequency. Instead of settling for less, he claimed his worthiness and attracted a partner who recognized and honored that.
Makes me wonder if our self-concept is so powerful.
Yeah.
Can we really change it just by using affirmations? It almost sounds too good to be true.
It's not about magically erasing all our insecurities overnight, you know? It's about consistent effort and a willingness to challenge those limiting beliefs that have been holding us back. Think of it as a process of retraining your mind or strengthening a muscle.
Right.
The more you practice self-love and self-acceptance, the more those beliefs become ingrained in your subconscious. And that's when you really start to see those shifts in your external experience.
And speaking of shifts, Grace's story.
Right.
She was all about surrender and trusting the universe.
Yeah.
After years of searching for the one, she decided to just let go of the struggle and focus on living her best life.
Grace's journey is such a beautiful illustration of the power of detachment.
Yeah.
She had been so focused on finding a partner that she had actually lost sight of her own joy and fulfillment. By shifting her attention to, her own passions and her well-being, she basically released that pressure valve, creating space for love to flow into her life naturally.
And it did. She met Ryan during a group trip, right?
She did.
And now they're engaged. It's almost like by letting go of that, desperate need for a partner, she kind of paradoxically became more magnetic to love.
It's a common theme we see in a lot of these stories.
Really?
When we release that, tight grip of control and surrender to a higher power, whether we call it the universe, God, our higher selves, it's we create space for miracles to happen.
It's like that saying, what you resist persists.
Exactly.
The more we cling to a specific outcome, the more we might actually be blocking its manifestation.
Exactly. And Grace's story is a reminder that, sometimes the path to love, it's not a straight line.
Right.
It's about trusting the journey. Embracing the detours, and believing that the universe has a plan for us, even when we can't see the full picture.
Okay, so we've explored 10 incredible stories.
We have.
Each one offering a unique, glimpse into the world of manifesting love.
It is fascinating.
So what are some of the key takeaways here? What's that, common thread running through all these experiences?
What really strikes me is that despite all the different techniques, the individual journeys, there's this undeniable power in shifting self-concept, whether it's through scripting, visualization, affirmations, or simply choosing to believe in a different reality.
Right.
These individuals, they all took deliberate steps to align their internal world
with
the love that they desired. And that internal shift, that change in belief, it seems to be the catalyst for their external transformation.
So it's not about manipulating the universe.
No.
Or forcing things to happen.
Right.
It's about, like, recognizing the power we have within ourselves to shape our reality.
Exactly. It's about becoming conscious creators of our own experience.
And it's important to remember, right, that this journey of manifesting love, it's not a one-time event.
It's not.
It's like an ongoing process.
It is.
It's about cultivating self-love, challenging those limiting beliefs, and continuously aligning ourselves with the frequency of love.
Exactly.
It's like we've been given this treasure map, and now it's up to us to, embark on the adventure. We have the tools, the guidance, and most importantly, the power within us.
We do.
To create the love that we desire.
Absolutely. And as we kind of wrap up our deep dive into these incredible stories, I just want to invite you, our listener, to consider what limiting beliefs might be holding you back from experiencing the love that you deserve.
Yeah.
What internal shifts can you make to align yourself with that frequency of love? What actions can you take, like today, to become the most loving version of yourself?
Those are powerful questions to, like, ponder. And as you embark on your own journey of manifesting love, just remember, you are worthy.
You are.
You are loved.
And you have the power.
And you have the power to create a reality that reflects the deepest desires of your heart.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone.
We hope you found it insightful and inspiring.
Until next time, keep believing, keep loving, and keep creating the life of your dreams.